Everybody, we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. It is your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders, everything breakdowns. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you dislike it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you dislike it. All right. And make sure you guys go to manscaped.com. Discount code TDL. Go ahead and check us out there. Make sure you go, it's like I said, it's almost Christmas time, guys. We're getting to Thanksgiving next week. So it's going to be super interesting with that. And follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL from me, and then at BD Williams 18. BD, how you feeling, man? Good?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling all right. Got to crunch to some of this Bengals defense. It's not bad. It's definitely not a pushover.
Mm-hmm.
Defense. There's maybe a couple of issues we'll talk about. But I think the Raiders are going to have their hands full picking this defense apart. There's some good talent back there. What about you? How are you feeling, man?
I feel it's gonna be interesting to see how the Raiders stop them. They're gonna have to play some good defense outside. They're not gonna be able to just kind of wimp it out. They got some really great guys outside. T. Higgins is, kind of undershadowed by Jamar Chase, right? Which is interesting. That's the Raiders' strength is outside, so that's why it's going to be a big test for them. It's kind of one of their biggest tests of the season.
Because good on good. It's
right?
Good on good. This is the matchup. Yeah, it's going to be a slugfest, heavyweight battle out there on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. But the interesting thing is, the Raiders' weakness is inside, and they really don't attack inside. Right. And I know that they, there's some big games that Uzomah had on fantasy, like a couple of games he had, big games he had, but it's not something regular. I really didn't see too many Tyler Boyd targets when I watched the 3 games that I watched. I watched the Packers, I watched the Jets and the Browns. I didn't see too many Tyler Boyd targets. And when I did the Bengals podcast the other day, that's what he talked about. He kind of complained about that, how they're not throwing to Tyler Boyd. So maybe they switched it up to throw to Tyler Boyd this week, which would be smart.
This might be Tyler Boyd's week, right? Yeah,
right? It would be smart, but I don't know. You feel like that's something. He's still a good slot player. You feel like that's something to exploit a little more, but he kind of just forces it to Jamar Chase and Higgins at this point, no matter what.
And he's throwing a lot of interceptions doing that too.
Yes, right? Too. But I'm going to get into that. And the offense is like, they can run the ball, they just don't. So right. When you stuff them a couple times, like they just scrap it. So that's you got to stop there. You got to get them just to basically just scrap the run altogether, because they don't want to run. They're 22nd in first down runs, so they don't run the football. They want to pass, do quick 3-step drops where Burrow get the ball out of his hands. So,
yeah. All right. So you want to go first with the breakdown? Or you want me to go first?
How about you just go, bro? You go first, dog. Show us this defense.
All right. So yeah, let me jump into it real quick here. All right, so first of all, Bengals scheme it's interesting. They do a couple interesting things here. First of all, their base personnel is actually 5-2. They have 5 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers back here. And they line up in an odd front. They like to get a lot of guys down the line of scrimmage. Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson on the edges. So that's an interesting little wrinkle. And then another thing that they do a lot of is called simulated pressure. So they're going to send a nickel. They're going to drop this defensive end. Feels like a blitz, but there's only 4 guys coming. Sim pressure. Another interesting thing about this play is you see the safety. He's going to open the middle of the field first before he drops back into the middle. And they're actually playing cover 3, but they're doing some little tricky things right back end to bait quarterbacks into making mistakes. And then they're also going to play some 3 deep safety looks and 3rd and longs like they do here, which is, relatively modern NFL stuff at this point. And then, this is another example where they're going to blitz, and they're playing a great blitz coverage here. And I want you to watch these 3 defenders and how they pass off these routes pretty effortlessly. They do a great job in their blitz coverages, passing everything off there, taking away that. Now, there's a player, a young ascending player named Logan Wilson that, we should watch out for this Sunday. He's an ascending linebacker in the NFL. Great size, great hitting ability. He's smart. He's a great run fitter. I would say he plays great effort, and he's making some big plays in coverage so far this year. Logan Wilson caught my eye when I'm going through the tape here. Really a do-it-all guy, I would say. Not like incredible against the pass, but he's fast enough that he's going to make an impact. And there's one like crazy play where he like rips the ball out after the wide receiver caught it and got a little, interception. And then also Jesse Bates on the back end. This guy, I feel like we've talked about Jesse Bates on this show before, with previous matchups. He's going to take advantage of any kind of miscue. One of the better safeties in all of football. Can play any coverage. You see him down here. They use him as a blitzer too. Okay, gets that makes the quarterback get that ball off quickly. He's a great player, great tackler. Jesse Bates, premier safety in the NFL. Got to watch out for him. Now they signed a guy named Trey Hendrickson in free agency, and Hendrickson, when I'm watching him, he's a little disappointing as a run player. How often is he being just completely handled by tight ends when it's time to, stuff the run? It's like he can't get off a block. I don't know what the deal is with this guy, Trey Hendrickson, having a really tough time stopping the run. I think that's the way to exploit this defense is you run it right at Trey Hendrickson. It doesn't seem to have any kind of intention or desire to get in there and stop the run, despite being a pretty darn good pass rusher.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting when you watch the Lions game because it probably did look really good against the Lions, but that defense is weird because they're really good sometimes, and sometimes they're like really bad. Like they're like up and down. Sometimes they can't cover anybody. Sometimes they can. Sometimes they can get to the passer. Sometimes they can. So
I think there was a stretch when Chidobe Awuzie, however you pronounce that guy's name.
Yeah.
Cheeto, like he was hurt, I think, because the games that I watched when he was healthy, he's playing really good. He's playing at a high level. I would say he's their best corner for sure. And then Mike Hilton, he's on the team. Mike Hilton, he's probably gonna give up some size when it comes to like contested catches and just bigger wide receivers matchups, stuff like that. But he can also make an impact in coverage. He's a sticky guy. So I would say he was a little up and down when I was watching him. But Logan Wilson, Jesse Bates, these guys are pretty darn good, and their pass rushers, Sam Hubbard and Hendrickson, those guys are, on paper, if you just go off sacks, and Raiders fans love sacks, those guys have more sacks than Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby. So those guys are legit. So when it comes to their pass rush and their pass coverage, if they can, like you're saying, like the Lions game when it's a blowout and they can just tee off. Yeah. But most defenses, I would say, are going to be in a good spot when it comes to, being in that situation. Yeah. But I think some of the things that they do on the back end, some of the interesting schematic tweaks that they have make this a defense that the Raiders are going to have to come up with a good game plan for to confuse them and not let them, bait the quarterback, bait Derek Carr into throwing into some ill-advised windows.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because that safety moving thing was pretty interesting. I never really seen anything too much like that before, where they're doing some kind of, movement to kind of, bait you to throwing like a post and things like that. Have people putting stills. The quarterback missed it. It's just waiting.
Right. No, but I mean, that's happening across the NFL right now. The kind of, they're cheating. They're making it seem like the middle of the field is open. That many teams across the NFL, all that to their game. Staley, the now Chargers head coach, this guy who started doing all that with what's his name, Jordan Fuller last year. So a lot of teams are implementing that for sure. But they do interesting things. They blitz a lot. Cincinnati blitzes a lot on defense. I didn't add that because I'm thinking when I'm watching it, I'm watching who they're playing. They're playing Lamar Jackson. We've seen them We've
Yeah.
seen teams like this is how they want to handle Lamar Jackson. They want to send the cover zero blitzes and make, just like turn off all the options for them.
Yeah.
Right. And then, they're playing Detroit, they're playing the Jets, they're playing just like, these aren't great. Like this is definitely the best offense that this team is going to have gone up against for like a long time now, like going back like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been nothing but, or the Ravens, which is like a completely different obstacle for a defense, right? So as far as like an explosive passing offense, this is definitely the best one. As long as Raiders come to play, though, we got to find out if they can take advantage. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, when they played some better teams, some better offenses, they haven't done too well. I mean, even the Browns. I mean, the Browns kind of just ran through them. You know what I mean? But to be honest, I mean, this team goes as how this offense goes. Let's keep it real with you guys. A couple of things I looked at, like Joe Burrow, he has 5 games where he's over YPA of 9. And, they won all 5 of those games. And every game that he's had YPA under 7 point, under 8, they've lost. So, and the same thing goes with his passer rating. I mean, he's only has 1 game. Every other game is over 100. Like a lot of the games are like over 128. But then his losses are like all ugly. So, I mean, this team kind of goes how this offense goes. So, yeah. So if the offense gets going and they're blowing somebody out, I mean, the defense can be fine. But if, the offense isn't, playing like they did against the Browns, then they end up losing 41-17. So, it's kind of like how the Raiders are, to be honest.
Right. There you go.
I mean, just with a little bit more talent on defense.
Right.
I mean, he's got like way more weapons. So I'm gonna talk about too, but he's got the great weapons. He's got an arsenal.
Why don't you jump into it? Go ahead.
I will jump into it, but it's also interesting too that Brian Callahan, right, which I believe was the quarterback coach for what year? I think it was the first year with John Gruden. If I'm wrong, am I right about that?
Was it quarterback coach or offensive line coach?
Brian Callahan. Now Bill Callahan.
QB coach maybe.
Let me look this up real quick. But yeah,
maybe like a offensive assistant, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like he was I know he was here because Derek Carr talked about it at his press conference, and I probably should have looked this up before the show even started, but that's fine, guys. We're gonna make it happen on the fly here. But what's interesting is that they run the same exact offense as the Raiders. Like it's like exact. I'm literally calling out plays while I'm watching it.
Yeah, QB coach, 2018.
2018, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then he's been the offensive coordinator here. So they literally like run the same exact offense, to be honest.
Right.
And it's super interesting to me about that, because I'm going to say this to sound crazy, but I mean, what if the Bengals go on a run and then, the Raiders decide they want to hire Brian Callahan? Nobody thinks about that stuff though. Anyways. All right. So let me get into it.
I like how you ended that. That's pretty good. You're gonna get the conspiracy theories going there.
So let's start off with the run game, guys. Here, I mean, like I said, this is basically the same offense. So we're gonna see like the same scheme. So we see outside zone right here, right? Joe Mixon does a great job. They got some good blocking here. So offensive line actually is pretty good. They're pretty good in run blocking and pass blocking, which is interesting because Joe Burrow gets sacked a lot, but like I said, they got some pretty good offensive linemen down there. I mean, they drafted Carmen, they drafted Jonah Williams a couple years ago, so they got some good linemen, and they got a pretty good running game too. You see here, pin pull sweep, guys get around, right? Good blocks. Joe Mixon, he just runs hard runner. He can pass and he can catch, and he can make plays too, right? So Joe Mixon, he could be a weapon for them as well, right? But when you kind of shut down the run game for them, like I said, I talked about earlier, you can kind of get them out of it. So you got split zone here, right? Inside zone slice is what they like to call it. And like I said, this is blocked up well. You see 66 and 67, got a good block. They got a good block on Foster Moreau. And, 73 is getting up there to number 4. But the Browns player comes in, he makes a great tackle here. Boom, right? Kind of comes and fills it. So, the Raiders got to come up and tackle. If that's Nate Hobbs, probably that would be him, right? And then sometimes, they just lose up front. So like I said, they're a solid run blocking team. They got a solid offensive line. I mean, they can have some up and downs, but I think if the Raiders can get some penetration running the football, because the Browns, they're kind of the same way. They're getting penetration. I mean, he's not too gapping there. He's just trying to get to the runner. So if the Raiders can just beat these guys straight off the line, I think they can make some plays here, right, and stop this run game. But like I said, everything about this Bengals team is about the passing offense. They got an explosive passing offense, one of the most explosive passing offenses in the league. And the Raiders have to be ready to stop these guys. And the main guy they got to worry about is Ja'Marr Chase. And this dude's tape is ridiculous. Okay. So, and he's a rookie. He's 21. He's 21 years old. And he just dudes people like that's Marlon Humphrey, great inside, beating the press, and then just breaks 3 tackles and takes it. What is that, like? It's just 80 yards right there. It's just incredible. That's what I'm saying. Beating press, press coverage. Gosh. I mean, right? He's a rookie, guys. That's a rookie beating a veteran, one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah,
making them look silly, and then making the whole Ravens defense look silly. We'll watch it. I'm gonna show you guys should watch this from the back end on slow motion. It's like some Steve Smith stuff. Remember that Steve Smith play?
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of that, right? And he's just to the house. And it's going to be a lot of that if you can't tackle him. It's literally going to be a lot of that if you can't, because it happens a lot with because here it is one more time right here, right? You're gonna watch him on a quick little comeback. Same exact. This is called Omaha. Raiders run this play a lot, Omaha, and he breaks a tackle. 5-6 yard play turns into 20, 30 yards. Ja'Marr Chase, right? And then he has this, really, really great, what I want to say, vibe. I'm gonna say it's a vibe with Joe Burrow. I'm gonna update it. I'm not gonna say chemistry. I'm gonna say it's a vibe. They got a vibe here. All right. That is pretty special that they got to deal with. And Joe Burrow, he likes to make plays. And when he wants to make a play, he's looking for Ja'Marr Chase. Okay. So see Ja'Marr Chase lined up at the top. Right. I mean, it's not, he's just looking, he's not even looking anywhere else. He's just looking at Ja'Marr Chase like the whole time. He's not even looking anywhere else. He chose it. Touchdown. Right. And if the Chiefs corners were jogging like the Packers were, Deshaun Jackson would have scored anyways. So, but anyways, here we go. This one is another one. You can just see, their chemistry, the way they work together. You can tell they had so many reps together. It's crazy, right? He knows Joe's in trouble. He knows he's got it. Joe knows where to look. Ja'Marr Chase, touchdown. So you got to worry about them in 2 phases. You got to worry about them in the first read. And then when Joe decides he wants to be a playmaker, that's where he's looking for. He's not looking anywhere else, guys. He's really, really just looking for Ja'Marr. All right. And T. Higgins is no joke either. So T. Higgins has got some, he can separate, he can run routes, and he can win deep too, right? So he's really kind of the natural deep guy for this offense, right? Kind of the playmaker. They like to attack deep with Ja'Marr Chase too, but they attack deep even more with T. Higgins, right? So T. Higgins here once again, and he's just going to make a ridiculous catch on this one, on the fade route. And they like to run these one more time. And this is the play the Raiders run, right? You guys seen that, right? The wheel. That's a touchdown to Nelson Aguilar, Darren Waller, right there. Same play. And that's a big play by T. Higgins. We'll see it from the backside. So basically what I'm kind of trying to say, the Raiders better be ready for these guys because it's the same offense. It's the same exact one. Same 3-by-1 formation. Same route, basically. I mean, it's a little switch, I guess, a little switch up to it. But, big play by T. Higgins there, right? And Joe Burrow. Let's talk about Joe Burrow, too. Joe Burrow is a 3-step drop rhythm quarterback, okay? But he likes to make plays. So he's a little bit of Tony Romo. His Tony Romo combat at college is perfect. You see the anticipation there. It's great, right? Right in rhythm, great anticipation. Accurate throw. He's very, very accurate when he's in rhythm. It's nice. You see that throw in rhythm on the flea flicker, dime, right? But, what you want to do is you want to get him out of his game, okay, with pressure, right? If you can get some pressure on him, he decides he wants to throw deep as soon as he gets out of the pocket. You see, he misses T. Higgins, who made the corner fall there. And then, he's chucking it deep to, Jamar Chase once again. So that doesn't work. Like I said, they have that kind of connection. They're going to try to make those plays, but you want to get pressure on him because he makes mistakes when that happens. You see here, 92, he beat 77, gets Burrow out of the pocket. He's not even looking around the field to try to see who else is open. He's looking for Jamar Chase. And then here, once again, here's another play the Raiders run. They ran this with Hunter Renfrow and scored a touchdown. And he throws a pick 6 on this one because he's late inside. And we're going to watch how the pressure gets to him too. It doesn't let him follow through on this throw. See, doesn't follow through. Can't get enough on it, especially with his limitation with his arm talent. Pick 6. And he just likes to hold the ball in the pocket. I'll tell you, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, right? His line's not bad. I'm telling you, his line is not bad at all, right? And then here's another one, gets out of the pocket, pressure, and then, his arm limitation sometimes just throws a duck, intercepted, right? So it's like it's a little bit Tony Romo 2.0. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. It's just like a repetitive thing. Like sometimes he just holds the ball too long. And the Raiders have those high motor guys. Man, I think they have a chance to get some pressure on him and make some plays and get some sacks on him because once again, watch. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. It's just every time. It's literally every time. I feel like every sack that happened with this, with Joe Burrow, it feels like it had something to do with him. So it's kind of interesting outlook from it to me. That offense is just kind of weird, man. Like they have a lot of weapons. They're really explosive. Right. But Joe Burrow, I think he's still a little young. I think he's still learning. He hasn't really had I think he's just finally passed 16 starts fully. So, he's finally got past that 16 start first season, but he's still a good quarterback. I'm not, I'm saying, I'm not trying to, knock Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is really good. He has some good tape, but I do think he has some limitations that the Raiders can exploit. Right. They have to get some pressure on him. They got to get him out of the pocket because he thinks he literally thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. He does. He really thinks he's like the ultimate playmaker. He's not going to let a play die. He'll take a sack. He's not going to, he's not going to give up basically. And people love, what I'm saying, people love those quarterbacks to have that competitive fire. And there's this one play that maybe I'm going to, we'll probably put it over the clip when I talk about this, where, he gets out of the pocket, he rolls out, he thinks he's about to run 15 yards, right? You can tell he tucks the football, he's going full speed. And like Darnell Savage actually backs up and kind of like comes a little late, but he just and they're sinking him. So it just takes his legs out. And like he almost gets hurt there. And that's what I'm saying. It's that competitive fire that he has. And you got to kind of exploit it, to be honest. You got to exploit that competitive fire and make him make mistakes. Because that's when he makes mistakes, is when he's in rhythm and he's doing that 3-step drop stuff and he's hitting Jamar Chase and he's in rhythm hitting Jamar Chase on a quick fade and all this stuff. Because they literally run the same offense as the Raiders. It's crazy. And once he's hitting those rhythm things and he's in rhythm, he's going to tear you up, but you got to get him out of rhythm. And you got to play some good defense in the back end, which makes him hold the football because he's not going to throw it away. So. But anyways,
yeah, I thought it was interesting how you showed just like the improv with Chase, and I think that's such a great matchup for the Raiders because if he does want to hold on to the ball, if it's not open and he wants to get to that second reaction, like that's what Max Crosby and Nick Ngakwe, like that's what they thrive on, is hustling after the quarterback. So yeah, if that's really what they're about, like that's a big part of their offense. Let's see if they can do it against, two guys who are not going to go seek in the play. Solomon Thomas, Darius Philon, these guys, they're going to be coming. Yeah. So that's going to be fun to watch. And our corners have held up solidly on the outside. Mm-hmm. Do you know if Trayvon Mullen's coming back? I'm not seeing him listed anything.
I don't think so. They take him off there. No.
Yeah. So really, it's going to be face on going up against these guys. And we'll see how he can hold up. he's been a little shaky. He's been a little shaky. So going up against T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, like this is a big test for him, I would say.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can show that what he did in that first game he played for the Raiders. Hopefully he can be around that.
I don't know. For Bradley, this game, I think Bradley's got to put. I don't care what the coverage call is. I think Hayward's just got to be around Chase, like at some point. Like even, because you could flip sides, and there's different things, responsibilities, but the corner responsibilities don't change outside. And Jamar Chase doesn't go inside that much. He's not like a slot guy. They don't put him in the slot really. So if you had Casey Hayward just kind of follow, and if you're still calling the same coverages, the corner responsibilities don't change that much. If you're still calling zone, but you still have a superior pro, a pro on that dude, because he's not, Brandon Faison is in trouble if he's lined up. I mean, Brandon Faison would do a lot better against T. Higgins than a Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is going to do him up. It's not gonna be fun if that happens. So
completely agree. That's the matchup.
Yeah. They got to figure out a way to keep Casey Hayward on him. So they got to figure out a way to do that. But
here's my question. Mixon, I think, is legit. Is he healthy? Is he ready to go?
I mean, Mixon was legit. So it's just that they don't want to run the football. So, but
what about in the passing game? Is he getting involved there?
Yeah, I mean, screens. They do a lot of screens to him. They do some, choice routes. He does choice routes too. He can do that. So I mean, the same way they would, if the way the Raiders want to use Josh Jacobs is how they want to use Joe Mixon. Like the thought process of when they drafted Jacobs is Joe Mixon. To be honest, they wanted Josh Jacobs to be Joe Mixon. They just never got a Jamar Chase, I guess. So. Changes everything.
You went there, yeah. I think I think that this team has a good chance going up against this team on paper. I think that it's a compelling matchup. It's not like they have like this tight end that's like killer that no one can cover or anything like that. I think it's good on good. We're gonna find out, where the Raiders stand, if they've been able to shake back and everything like that. So we'll find out about that. Any you want to do any predictions? Do you want to say, your piece, anything else before we get out of here?
No, nothing else. I really don't have any big things to say. It is interesting. One thing I didn't point out on this tape because I didn't want to just trash Joe Burrow, which I put that up there, but
you kind of did.
I mean, not this game would be, I would feel a lot better about this game if the Raiders were playing in Cincinnati. That's all I really got. I would feel a whole lot better.
Why is that?
Burrow's in trouble, bro. Like to finish like a season in the AFC North. I just like the ball was kind of just dying against the Browns, and you even saw that it was windy in the Packers game. You saw that ball just kind of die, and he got picked. So
right.
I would feel
the elements.
Better. I would feel a whole lot better. I know Derek Carr sucks at the cold, but I would take my chances. So interesting. But I mean, they're at home and it's inside. Yeah, it's they're LSU. They've got some LSU. That's what I'm
right. They're in a dome. They don't have any kind of.
There's no elements. They're just
right.
They're back into the Chick-fil-A the Chick-fil-A dome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways,
that's funny. I mean, right. Wait. Okay, that's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for me, Raider Nation. We appreciate everyone for tuning into the preview show. Make sure you go to enter TDL promo code at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Holidays around the corner, so get something for someone, for a guy in your life. Get that Manscaped form. Okay, make sure you follow us on Twitter at BDWilliams18. For myself at the Mark John NFL. For Marcus, that's it, Raider Nation. We out.
Peace.